These are fucking professionals who should be treated with dignity and respect and professional manner. That's bullshit. That shit is you know what I'm talking about, guys. There is a new book that will be coming out. It is called Hollywood Burn It Down. It's an expose by reporter Maureen Ryan. Lindelof and Carlton Cuse accused of fostering toxic environment on Lost set in new book. Okay, so Deadline and all the big ones have been running this for the last 24 hours. A new book by Maureen Ryan that seeks to expose patterns of harassment and bias in Hollywood takes aims at the writers' room of Lost, where executive producers Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse are accused of maintaining a culture of toxicity in the hit ABC drama. This is wild, guys. This is wild, okay? Because I'm going to make an argument. I'm going to make an argument that the big channels I think I want to be polite. Lack of knowledge. That's really polite. Of when we hear about writers and then actors in front of the camera for the last several years complaining about how they were treated on set, how they were treated in the writer's room. And because they happen to be a person of color, how those channels often say you're just playing the race card, the victim card. You hear those stories. The latest one is Eva Longoria talking about being a female Latina director and that it's such a rare thing because and then just just because of the way the system is set up. I'm not going after any people here, guys. I'm talking about this system in Hollywood. Okay? She's on point. She's on point. And to me, this expose just shows Hollywood's hypocrisy, their racist attitudes, and yes, their sexist attitudes at time. Let's present a couple of cases here. This is a full statement that was given from one of the writers and showrunners of Lost. He happens to be a Latino. Okay? He happens to be a Latino. I went on record in Maureen Ryan's book, Burn It Down, for several reasons. First, I have known and followed Ryan for years. She is a meticulous investigator with the highest regard for objectivity and journalistic ethics. Over the course of the first 2 decades of my career, including 2 years in a primetime series executive at a network, I witnessed men in the position destroying the careers of others with depressing regularity. A showrunner I worked for in the 90s, one who was later written about and fired in the 2010 after multiple HR investigations, went as far as to brag to his writers that it's not that hard to ruin someone's career. You just have to whisper something about a drug problem into the right ear. He's talking about the ecosystem, the system, the environment of this place. And in this example, it is the Lost hit show, one of the biggest shows ever. Lost. The overall mean tone of the writer's room was one of bullying disguised as teasing. This behavior was absolutely modeled by upper management, and race and gender were always on the table. From one of the senior writer producers posting Michelle Rodriguez's mugshot after she was arrested for DUI and spinning a funny story about how, as a wily Latina behind bars, she sold Cynthia Watros, a white cast member, to the other inmates for cigarettes, to the way in which our only Asian American writer was routinely joked about, to her face, as the showrunner's geisha, down to the Mickey Rooney breakfast at Tiffany's accent. It was a daily occurrence. This sort of environment doesn't only poison the dynamic behind the scenes, it shows up on the screen in the attitudes of the characters, their dialogue, and the stories themselves. It's no surprise to me that the main Latino character in the show was frequently portrayed as a feckless, ignorant, and gluttonous, therefore the justifiable butt of countless fat jokes. I want to present to you that this J.J. Abrams run thing, these are the most liberal progressive people in Hollywood. But this is the ongoing behavior, that it's not isolated, guys. Okay, one of my mentors in the 90s, one of my mentors in the 90s, he happened to be Latino. He was the first staff writer for In Living Color, the comedy show. He was the first Mexican American on there, right? You would see you probably have seen some of his work. He was the butt of a lot of racist shit from production, from other writers. That's just how it was, and that's just how it is. I remember when he told me that, that was wild. I was really disappointed in hearing that, because I'm such a In Living Color fan, but they treated him like shit. They literally had a rubber taco, and they this was like a greeting. This was not a joke, because they didn't know him at the time. They greeted him, right, on his the doorway entrance to his office, and they stapled rubber tacos on his doorway. To me, I think that would be funny if if you knew the guy, and like you're dishing, you guys are dishing shit out, and this man is a prolific writer. You have seen some of his work. I guarantee you've seen his work. Anyways, so this is not isolated, guys. Let's go to Cameron Pasha's amazing Patreon scoop. Kathleen Kennedy scared of new book revealing Lucasfilm racism. What book is that, guys? It's the same book. I mean, if you're not on Cameron Pasha's Patreon, you need to get your ass down there right now. This man is epic. I want to go to his latest update, guys. I want to go to his latest. You think I'm making this shit up, bro? You think, oh, you Latinos, you minorities, you're just victim signaling. Oh, you're just complaining. Nah, dog. This is real shit that people have gone through. These are fucking professionals who should be treated with dignity and respect and professional manner. That's bullshit. That shit is, oh, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Per the table of contents available on Amazon, Lucasfilm is mentioned on pages 165 to 169, 170, 173, 174. Kathleen Kennedy is mentioned on page 280. Star Wars is mentioned on pages 102, 165, 169. Blah, 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 blah. George Lucas, blah, blah. This is not good for KK and the people at Lucasfilm. I just got off the phone. KK is terrified of what revelations may come out in the upcoming Hollywood expose on racism, and she's blaming J.J. Abrams for throwing her under the bus. Apparently, Kennedy is pissed that fucker Abrams is going to sink us with him. Oh, you know he is, dog. That's how you guys do, bunch of rats. According to the rumors in the office, JJ has been pushed out of the club. His ability to control the narrative is gone. No wonder a book got made. The book got made, man. Apparently, it could show that it was Kennedy who ordered the minorities of off the posters for the Star Wars movie to appease China, because she thinks China hates blacks and gays. Whoa! Pasha's insider. In their view, taking minority characters off the poster for Star Wars sequels is the most blatantly racist thing she has done. There are unconfirmed rumors in Lucasfilm that J.J. Abrams sidelined Finn The Force Awakens as a janitor. That's not a rumor. That's what happened. Now, why did they downgrade him? Is to satisfy both Chinese hostility to a black lead. And Kennedy is apparently afraid that Abrams will ultimately pin that decision on her. Of course he is. I mean, these are people who try to tell us about racism and Black Lives Matter and this agenda matters. And look at how they treat minorities and women. But this is not isolated, guys. This has been going on in Hollywood forever. And that's the bullshit that I'm always trying to call out. So when I talk about a show I'm excited about, it is so rare that show actually makes it, that happens to be a great Latino show. You understand how rare that is, guys? They don't give a shit about Latinos. They damn don't give a shit about Chicanos, right? We know diversity inclusion seldom means, that huge group. They'll take their money at the box office, but that is going to be a salacious book. A salacious book, guys. When I do my commentary on different movie topics, it just fortifies to my argument that when you hear an Eva Longoria talk about the system, when you hear a John Leguizamo, listen, politics and all be aside, when he's talking about the system of Hollywood, they are fucking on point, dead right. So take away the fact that it's Johnny Legs or Eva Longoria, and look at what they're talking about. There hasn't been a Latina director, a female director who has filmed who has done a studio film in over 20 years. The fuck out of here with diversity and inclusion, man. Okay, Paulie. Okay, Paulie. So listen, this book is hot. And there's it's going to be very interesting to hear what's happening. This is probably a huge reason why Lindelof was off that movie before he was even on it, because they already knew about the book. You can best believe that. And the way they treated people, characters of color, from Lost to this only reinforces my belief in that the ones that that preach diversity and inclusion are really truly, I'm going to be nice, even though I've already been stacking it to them, has been ignorant at the least. So Iger knew about this book and did not stop it from going to the presses or forbid former Disney employees from throwing Lindelof under the bus. It is because he may have been planning to use revelations in the book about Lucasfilm in a killing blow against Kathleen Kennedy. Wow. Wow. What do you guys think of all this? What's going on? I got some stuff. This is this is juicy. I don't care. It's juicy. This is seismic. The more seismic change, guys, the more creative change, guys, the more creativity is going to be ushered back, because the people in charge are going to see what makes us money. Let's go back to that. Mexican Iron Man is going to do our books, and we're going to be good with the people. The people.